I actually began running when I was 12 years old because I wanted to make the field hockey team in my high school, and my dad encouraged me to run a mile a day. I was a skinny little insecure kid, and when I ran this mile a day, I not only made the field hockey team, but I became so empowered. I met this guy who was helping to coach the Syracuse University, the men's cross-country team. His name was Arnie Briggs. I told him I wanted to run the Boston Marathon, and he said, without missing a beat, a woman can't run the Boston Marathon. Women themselves didn't understand that they had the capability. They were afraid of all the old myths of getting a big leg and growing a mustache and your uterus falling out. We argued, and he said, if you showed me in practice that you could run the Boston distance, 26 miles, 385 yards, I'd be the first person to take you. One day we actually ran 31 miles. To his word, he helped me sign up for the race. He said, there's nothing about gender in the rule book, and there's nothing about gender on the entry form. I said, well, okay. So I paid my $2. I signed my name with my initials. And the entry form obviously went into Boston, and the Boston officials thought it was a guy. And they awarded me number 261. The morning of the Boston Marathon was incredible. It was sleeting and snowing with a terrible headwind. I had on this really darling shorts and top that I wanted to show off. But it was so cold, I wasn't going to take off my heavy gray warm-up suit. And the officials pushed us into a starting pen, and everybody looking alike in these baggy warm-up suits. They couldn't tell me from one of the guys. And when I got into the pen, I said to Arnie, I said, well, you're right, there's no problem. And he said, I told you there'd be no problem. The gun went off, and down the street we went. The first couple of miles were great, and the press truck came by us on the outside, and they went crazy. You know, a girl's in the race, she's wearing bib numbers, and they were shooting, and we were kind of waving to them because it was just a flash media moment. When all of a sudden behind me, I heard leather shoes, clearly not like running shoes. And suddenly I saw this man, he was ferocious looking, and I was so frightened. He grabbed me by the shoulders and he spun me back like that and tried to rip off my bib number. And he screamed, get the hell out of my race and give me those numbers. I was so terrified and scared. But my boyfriend came running and hit the official and sent him flying out of the race. And my little coach said, run like hell. And down the street we went. Someplace about Heartbreak Hill, which is at 21 miles in the Boston Marathon, the anger left me. Because, you know, you can't run long and stay angry. I turned to my coach and I said, I have to finish the race, even if I have to finish it on my hands and my knees. Because if I don't finish the race, nobody's going to believe that women can do this. Nobody's going to believe that women should be here. When I finished the race, I felt like I had a life plan, I had a goal, and a real purpose to achieve. And I felt absolutely fulfilled also because I'd run my first marathon under the most incredibly difficult conditions, and I knew after that nothing was going to be as hard. We wound up organizing 400 races in 27 countries and used the data and statistics from those events to lobby the International Olympic Committee and got the women's marathon into the Olympic Games in 1984. We know if we can empower women, they can do anything. And it's sometimes the simplest thing, putting one foot in front of the other, will do that.